You curious about what's going on in Northwest Indiana? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Word Around Town, Episode 9. I'm Steve Jamrock with Realty Executives Premier, your host and Northwest Indiana expert. And in this podcast, I'd like to talk a little bit about real estate and a lot about what's going on in our Northwest Indiana communities. And in this week's episode, it looks like the government shutdown is finally coming to an end. Will that inject a little bit of life into our real estate market? Winter arrived with a vengeance on Monday, and if you're sick of shoveling snow but not ready to move to Florida or Arizona, maybe maintenance-free living is the way you want to go. We'll talk about what maintenance-free really means. The National Association of Realtors released its annual survey of home buyers and sellers. We'll dig into those numbers. The Indiana Business Journal dropped a couple of juicy nuggets last week, and although they're not directly related to Northwest Indiana, I thought they were interesting enough to talk about. Nipsco announces a major expansion in its Jasper County Plant. The Crown Point Riverfront District was formally approved. A new restaurant is coming to one of the region's busiest intersections, and Valparaiso shares details about its visions for its East Side Master Plan. All that and more, plus all the great things going on here in Northwest Indiana this weekend. So sit back, relax, and let's talk Northwest Indiana, guys. All right. It appears the government shutdown is finally coming to an end. And what does that mean for real estate in general? Well, on the positive side, those of you who are in the process of purchasing a home with a government-backed loan, FHA, VA, USDA, you should start seeing your processing times increase once things get fully opened up. So if you've been seeing delays or things dragging out here, know once it gets up and fully running again, things should start moving along a little bit faster for you. Also, the federal flood insurance program, that should open back up as well. So if you're in the need of flood insurance, you don't have to just only have the private marketplace as an option. You should be able to comparison shop on the federal plan as well. And most importantly, those of you that have been working in the government without a paycheck and have put your home buying process on hold because of that, well, hopefully now you can have that confidence to resume your home search, as those checks will hopefully eventually start reaching back into your bank account. And then finally, we should start seeing a little bit more activity in our real estate market as well. We've already seen financial markets respond favorably to this. Now that we have a little bit of confidence moving forward and a little bit of certainty, home buyers and sellers who don't like to make large financial decisions amid uncertainty should get a little bit of confidence going here and hopefully start moving forward with their plans of either purchasing or selling their homes now as well. Now, on the negative side, we've already seen an increase in the 10-year Treasury. We've seen a slight rise over the last couple days, and that typically means that mortgage rates are going to follow that rise as well. So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple days. Probably won't get a true picture until early next week of what mortgage rates really do and how they will really react to the shutdown being over. But overall, this is a good thing for everyone. We can go ahead and put this behind us, move forward, and get some confidence back, not only in our financial markets, but in the real estate market as well. All right. If you live in Northwest Indiana and you know that winter smacked us in the face on Monday, most of us got around anywhere between 8 and 12 inches of snow. I think here in Crown Point, we got about 10 inches of snow. And before I get into the maintenance-free part of this, I typically love to shovel snow. I really always look forward to that first snowfall, and I really just enjoy the solitude, the peace, just some time to myself when I'm out there shoveling snow. But man, was I disappointed on Monday. I woke up, got dressed, went outside, got the dog, grabbed my shovel. I was ready. Lake effect snow, usually light and fluffy and just easy to move. It's going to be a great morning. Took that first scoop, and it was like digging into a glacier on the bottom. I could not believe how heavy that snow was, how much moisture was on the bottom, and all that snow fell on top. So I whipped out the snow blower, and even that had trouble digging through the wetness of that snow on the bottom. It was an interesting morning to shovel snow. It took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it's done, and here we are going back into the 50s and 60s for the weekend. So welcome to Northwest Indiana, right? All right. So, but if you are like a lot of people I know and you're just over the snow, if you're like my wife, who's, hey, I'm done with this, but you're not quite ready to make that move, well, maybe maintenance-free living is the way that you want to look into. And when I talk about maintenance-free living, you may think about cottage-style homes or duplex-style homes, but mainly they have an HOA, a homeowners association, that takes care of the exterior of the property. And there's different levels of maintenance that they provide to these properties, and that's what you need to be aware of. On a basic level, most homeowners associations will take care of snow removal and grass cutting. Next level, they may also take care of things like your blacktop sealing if it's an asphalt driveway, maybe the irrigation system, the landscaping as far as trimming bushes, cleaning out the flower beds, things along those lines. And then finally, there's I'll call it the all-inclusive maintenance-free package, where they not only take care of the landscaping and snow removal, but they take care of the major exterior features on the house as well. So if there's a siding repair or replacement, or a roof repair or replacement, or the front door needs repaired or replaced, same thing with the garage overhead door, the HOA would take care of that. Now, of course, you pay based on the services that this HOA provides. So if it's a full exterior maintenance-free home, where they take care of the roof, siding, garage doors, things along those lines, painting on the exterior, obviously your HOA dues are going to be higher. They also may charge a special assessment when those items come due, or they know that they're going to be coming due soon. So that's also another thing to think of. But the main thing is to understand what you're getting into and understand how maintenance-free you want to go. I know some buyers that have moved into maintenance-free homes and were disappointed when they found out that they couldn't do their own gardening or plant their own flowers. So you're going to want to make sure that you can still do what you want to do in your outside yard while still getting the service that you want, as far as not having to deal with snow removal, grass cutting, etc. All right. And the best way to do that is to, first of all, determine, again, what you're actually looking for when it comes to a maintenance-free lifestyle, how deep you want to go. If you want to take care of some of the grass cutting or some of the landscaping, make sure you understand that up front. And then ask those questions up front as well, what those HOA does cover, and then also review those HOA documents as well, just to confirm what they do cover and what is included with all of the dues. All right. The National Association of Realtors released their 2025 profile of home buyers and sellers. And there were some very interesting items to note here in that data that came out there. And this survey covers July of 2024 through June of 2025. And I'm going to read through all of these first, then I'm going to come back and touch on what I thought was most interesting about this. So the first-time buyers made up 21% of all home buyers during this period. And that is the lowest ever. The median age of a home buyer was 40 years old. That's the highest ever. They typically, the median down payment that first-time home buyers use was 10% down. That's actually up and tied with the highest level ever. Repeat buyers. So these are buyers that have owned a home before and bought another home. Their median age was 62 years, and they typically put down about 23%, and 30% were all cash buyers. So that is also high as well. So you can see that repeat buyers may be using the equity in their current homes to go ahead and use all cash to buy their next homes. Now on to the home sellers. Median time in a home before selling a home was 11 years. This is an all-time high as well. Traditionally, about every 5 years, homeowners would go ahead and move. Now we're staying in a house about 11 years before they decide to make a move. So the median distance moved was 30 miles. That was down from a median of 35 miles. And then 50% of home sellers purchased a newer home, and 34% moved to purchase a larger home. The use of a realtor. 88% of home buyers used a realtor to help them with the purchase of a home. 92% of home buyers that previously owned a home still went and used a realtor to help them buy their new home. And then 91% of sellers used an agent as well to help them sell their home, and that is equal to the highest percentage ever as far as home sellers using a realtor to help sell a home. But so some, again, really interesting numbers here, but I want to talk about the first-time home buyers because this is somewhat concerning. That only 21% of the total buyers were first-time buyers. And more concerning is the median age is up to 40 years old. And so why is that? That, I really sit here and kind of think about, you really kind of, to take advantage of appreciation, we're always kind of taught to get into buying a home as early as possible. But in this day and age, a lot of people will easily dismiss it as affordability concerns that, hey, we got high home prices and higher interest rates. But when you think about it, yeah, home prices have elevated. Interest rates, they're still good. We were spoiled with the 2%, 3%, 4% interest rates, but those, again, were historic low interest rates. Those aren't coming back. So, again, we have to remember to look at this historically and over time, that these interest rates that we're seeing right now are better than average. Low 6%, low to mid 6%, they're pretty good. No, they're not the 2%, 3%, 4%, but those aren't coming back. So, if the higher interest rates are what's concerning you, we're going to have a little chat here to kind of educate you on ways that we can work around the high interest the average interest rates, because again, they're probably not going away here. We may get down into the fives a little bit, but this is kind of probably what we're going to be seeing here for a while. Now, another concern, though, and I think this is kind of more importantly of what we're seeing in first-time home buyers today, the kind of younger generation, there is a large keeping up with the Joneses mentality as well, where they do talk to their friends and family who do have those lower interest rates, and they do want to wait out for the low. Oh, wait, I got a 4% before. You wait long enough, you can get a 4% too. And nobody's ever really nobody ever has really won when trying to time out the real estate market. Because again, you wait 10 years until those interest rates come down, and that's 10 years of equity that you're losing out on. The other thing, it's amazing that the amount of new cars, expensive coffees and dinners and destination trips that the younger generation is taking, as well, as opposed to saving for the down payment for a property. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. They want to live life, and that's great. Enjoy yourselves. But again, there's sometimes you got to sacrifice. When we look back into what our parents and grandparents did, the boomer generation, which gets a lot of flack, but hey, they worked hard, they saved, they sacrificed a lot in order to get into that house. And now look at them reap the rewards of all the appreciation that they've received. Another issue is, work from home. So a lot of potential first-time home buyers, they want more flexibility now. They work from home. They don't want to be tied down. They want to be able to go and do what they want to do when they want to do it. And then a lot of potential first-time buyers are also staying in with their parents a lot longer. So they graduate college, they move back in, they help around the house, but they stay there longer and longer in order to save money. But in the meantime, they're missing out on those potential equity gains as well. But again, it's not all on the potential home buyers. I shouldn't continue to point fingers at them, because there's fault on builders, developers, and communities, and us as well. There is a lack of available starter homes out there available. And remember, go back to the median time that home sellers are staying in a home. It's 11 years. So we're not recycling homes as quick as we once were. So again, that's removing potential starter homes for these first-time buyers off the market. But also, developers aren't incentivized to build starter homes at all. It costs about similar to build a starter home for $200,000 as compared to a home that they could sell for $400,000. It's unfortunate, but it's a no-brainer. I do believe there needs to be some incentives to home builders out there to build starter-style homes, whether it has tax breaks or incentives on building costs. Something along those lines should be done, in my opinion. But it's also the communities as well, and the not in my backyard mentality that a lot of us have. You go and listen to city council meetings and developments that are being proposed and housing that's being proposed. And the minute that any kind of low value starter home type properties are proposed, the community comes out with their torches and pitchforks and, hey, no way, you're going to decrease my property value with these kind of homes. We don't want those kind of homes here. And in reality, guys, we need those homes. We have a big housing shortage going on throughout Northwest Indiana, especially in that starter home level of homes. So if homeowners are staying in their houses longer, there's going to be less housing available for those who are potentially trying to get started into starter style homes. So if that's the case, we need to build starter style level homes. And this is going to be an issue in our generations coming up here. I have a couple of kids in college, and I already know that, hey, we got to prepare them ahead of time that when they get out here, what we're going to do as far as sacrificing and working and being able to get into a house eventually as early as possible. So if we want to continue to keep our communities here in Northwest Indiana vibrant, if we want to continue to inject life into our communities, we really have to look into starter style homes for first-time buyers and make them find a way to make them more affordable just by getting more inventory out there on the market. So again, from the realtor standpoint, community standpoint, we all need to do a better job of promoting home ownership to our next generation, because again, owning a home is still the best financial long-term investment opportunity you can make when you look at appreciation through the years. So the quicker that we are able to get the next generation into stable housing, the quicker they can build wealth and our community stabilize as well. So again, I think this is a very important issue. I'm not going to beat it up much longer, but I do want to continue to talk about that here in future podcasts as well. All right. Moving on, what is happening in Northwest Indiana? And this isn't directly in Northwest Indiana, but the Indiana Business Journal dropped a couple of juicy nuggets last week. And the first thing I want to start off with is there's a new energy startup called First American Nuclear that is looking to move its headquarters to Carmel, Indiana, and in turn build its small nuclear reactors. They're called small model nuclear reactors here in Indiana. And the key to this type of reactor, I guess, is it reuses its spent nuclear fuel on site, which in turn eliminates 90% of the long-term waste for nuclear reactors. So it's a promising development in the nuclear field. And I'm not a nuclear engineer, obviously. I'm a realtor. And why does this matter in real estate? Well, because if you remember earlier on some of my podcasts talking about all the data centers that continue to march into Northwest Indiana, and you can't open up the paper or read a news article without hearing about a data center being proposed or somebody opposing a data center throughout Northwest Indiana. And data centers are attracted again to Northwest Indiana because we have the infrastructure in place. So they try to piggyback off other data centers that already are in place. And these data centers, they need a ton of power. And Governor Braun has already announced his commitment to make Indiana a tech hub in the Midwest. So this is not going away. He is welcoming them to come here. They're going to find the communities where they think they fit best, and they are going to continue to try to fit into these communities. Now, Nipsco has announced that it is building an expansion of its Schaefer generating station in Wheatfield. And this is a direct result of data centers that power AI and quantum computing that continue to move into Northwest Indiana. The Schaefer generating station in Wheatfield, that was a coal-fired generating plant that they shut down as we, the last few years, things started to move to wind and solar. Well, now they're expanding it, turning it back on operational, but as a natural gas generating station to help provide more power to its consumers, which again includes these AI and data centers. So, all right, let's get back to how does that tie into these little mini nuclear reactors or whatever that we're looking to build in Northwest Indiana. Well, again, the data centers if they're trying to piggyback off of infrastructure that's already in place and already here, but all of a sudden they have a way to get all the power that they need in these small mini reactors, well, now they don't necessarily need to stay in one specific area. They can expand where they want to go, because what if these mini nuclear reactors, they can build themselves, or they could purchase from a company like this startup, First American Nuclear, and then manage them and run them themselves and have their own power and energy. So it's something that really bears watching here, especially in Northwest Indiana with the amount of data centers that are coming, is where are they going to draw their power from eventually? Is this going to be from our own existing infrastructure, or are we going to have nuclear reactors in our backyard here soon? Who's going to manage them? Who's going to regulate them? What do they entail? It's all information that we're going to have to pay attention to as communities, as these data centers and artificial intelligence and quantum computing keeps growing exponentially, quickly, fastly throughout not only Northwest Indiana, but the United States as well. So again, I found it very interesting that a few months ago, Governor Braun said that he's committed to bringing in small mini nuclear reactors in the state of Indiana, and here we go. He's already found a company to come here to Indiana to start building these. So it's definitely bears watching here moving forward, and you're going to want to stay up to date on how that's going to affect our power plants here in the future. All right, the second bombshell, a little bit a brighter note here for Indiana, is a long-awaited Buc-ee's is coming to Indiana. It's going to be located just south of Indianapolis in the Greenwood area. And again, it's not a done deal yet, but sources have confirmed that they are definitely eyeballing a specific spot along I-65 south of Indianapolis near Greenwood. Now, I know there's disappointment that this is not in Northwest Indiana, but hey, we're not dead yet. Buc-ee's continues to say that they continue to scout sites throughout the nation, including Indiana as well. So fingers crossed, maybe we can get one up here eventually. Now, I know if you've never been to a Buc-ee's, you're probably, again, like, what the hell is going on with Buc-ee's and all this talk about Buc-ee's? What is the hubbub about Buc-ee's? And really, until you actually go to one and experience a Buc-ee's, it's hard to explain. From the sheer size to the cleanliness to the friendliness of the staff, just everything about it. It's not your normal gas station or convenience store. It's an experience. So again, if you've not been to a Buc-ee's, if you have a chance, check it out. You won't be disappointed. It really is an experience to go check out. So it'll be fun to see a Buc-ee's come to Indiana finally. And who knows, maybe eventually we'll get one up here in Northwest Indiana. All right. Now, why are all these developers coming to Indiana? Well, that's because Indiana was recently ranked number 9 nationally for business-friendly states, according to Site Selection magazine. So again, as you drive around Northwest Indiana, as you drive up and down I-65, there's development everywhere, guys, not only residential, but commercial and industrial as well. And it is all because Indiana is noted for being a very business-friendly state. So development's not going away, guys. This is good for bringing in jobs along with that development. That is good for our housing values as well. Now, we can debate if it's good for our infrastructure and our roads and everything that we're not quite up to snuff yet with all the development going on, but it is definitely good for housing values having a business-friendly environment as well. So we'll continue to watch all the developments here in not only Northwest Indiana, but throughout Indiana, and how they would affect Northwest Indiana as well. Now, speaking of developments and new businesses coming to Northwest Indiana, there's a new restaurant that's coming to the Northwest Indiana's busiest intersection. Lincoln and Wicker is the name of the restaurant, and it's going to be in place in the old Burger House location at US 41 and US 30, calling it an elevated dining experience with blue-collar prices. Longtime Chicago chef Jeff Ruff, he's going to bring a globally inspired comfort food to Northwest Indiana, promising a very different vibe and service experience that you don't find in Northwest Indiana. Always exciting to see different types of dining options come to Northwest Indiana. The 4,800 800 square foot restaurant is hoping to be open by late November. So again, always great to see new developments and new restaurants and new options come to Northwest Indiana. This one sounds kind of cool. Speaking of developments, the Crown Point Riverfront District was formally approved last week. Now, again, this gives the city of Crown Point an additional 15 expedited liquor license while also maintaining stricter controls over who is granted these liquor license and the type of development that will go into these spaces. The district will mainly serve the eastern side of the city, east of Broadway, up to about I-65 and border north on the north by 101st Avenue and 113th Avenue on the south. Again, this will not create an actual river and river walk or anything like that in Crown Point. But again, it will allow for quicker development as businesses that have been looking to expand at Crown Point will no longer have to wait and jump through hoops to get a liquor license, as these will already be in place and will be able to be approved faster as long as they fit in with what the city is looking for on those sites. So overall, it's a good move for Crown Point in the long run. I can't wait to see how that eastern half of the city develops. And speaking of eastern halves, the Valparaiso has shared its vision for the East Side Master Plan, stretching along the east side of State Road 49 between Burlington Beach Road on the north and Vale Park Road on the south. Valparaiso envisions a mixed-use development in that area of medical buildings, including potential St. Mary's expansion, office buildings, commercial buildings, light industrial, some single-family and multifamily homes as well. And again, we need housing here throughout all of Northwest Indiana, so that is exciting. Other features would include walking trails, a nature preserve, parks, plenty of open green space as well. Currently, the city is seeking public input, and you can go to the city website to fill out a survey on what you think about this development and what they should include or how they should move forward with this potential development. So check out, again, that's a survey on the city of Valparaiso for the East Side Master Plan development. Now, on to events around town and what's going on. And this Friday, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. Temps could be approaching 70 degrees here, so get on out and enjoy everything that it's had to offer here in Northwest Indiana. And we'll start off with football regionals. This weekend, unfortunately, Crown Point's undefeated season came to an end last weekend with a tough road loss in the closing minutes to Penn, and that was in the sectional championship game. But other region teams did advance, and that is exciting here for us here in Northwest Indiana. We'll start off in the 5A Regional Championship, where Maryville travels to Michigan City to battle for the 5A Regional Championship. Hobart travels to South Bend St. Joe for the 4A Regional Championship. In 3A, Knox continues its run behind the nation's leading rusher in Miles McLaughlin, and they face Angola. And Andrean, who is always tough to beat when it comes to a run for the state championship. Andrean will take on Southmont in the 2A regional championship game. So, again, a lot of great football going on. Get out there, go out and support these teams. Really excited about that Maryville and Michigan City matchup. That should be really exciting. And that's taking place in Michigan City. Now, there's a big week of live music lined up at the Hobart Arts Theater. If you like live music, there's a variety of acts that are coming to the Hobart Arts Theater. So here's a list that you can go ahead and check out. On Thursday, this is already sold out, so if you don't have tickets, sorry. But Hometown Jams presents Avery Anna, country artist there, playing at the Hobart Arts Theater. And then on Friday, November 14th, you can have your mind blown by Marrakesh Express. It is a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young cover band. They are exceptional. I've heard them a couple times now. They do a phenomenal job with their harmonizations, just like Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young did as well. They're really fun, really great to hear. So if you like Crosby, Stills, and Nash & Young, go check them out at the Hobart Art Theater on November 14th. And on Saturday the 15th, if you're not standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, well, you could come back to see Heartache Tonight, a tribute to the Eagles. And on November 16th, you can go your own way instead and enjoy a tribute to Fleetwood Mac. Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band, takes the stage on November 16th at the Hobart Art Theater. Over in Whiting on November 15th, some more live music for you. An evening with the Beatles, as American English, the premier cover band here in the area of the Beatles, takes the stage at the Hoosier Theater, and that's on 119th Street in Whiting. Now, if you're ready for the holiday spirit to pick you up here, and it's going to be a little weird to get in the holiday spirit this weekend because it's going to be in the 50s and 60s, but hey, maybe you want to get out there and get a little early shopping done and enjoy some of these great shops and locations. But next week on November 21st on the downtown Crown Point Square, you can enjoy Pink Friday. It's the small business version of Black Friday here in downtown Crown Point. They're going to offer a sip, shop, and crawl. You can go around to all this great small local businesses on the square. They're going to have specials going on, mimosas out there for you as well, and really just check out all the great stores here and some more support our local small businesses, not only in Crown Point and on the square, but throughout Northwest Indiana. It's very important to do that. All right, and also, next weekend on the 22nd and 23rd, the Indiana Youth Ballet is putting on their production of The Nutcracker. Always a great way to kick off the holiday season. I've seen this production a couple times now, and it's just it is really a great production to get out there and very family friendly. Take the kids, enjoy The Nutcracker. That's going to be at Lowell High School. And then also, guys, this week, starting this weekend, at Crown Point High School, the Crown Point Theater Department is putting on The Wizard of Oz. And if you've never been to a Crown Point High School theater production, you have to go. It's unreal. The time, the effort that these kids put in, it's a production. It is really, really good. So these do tend to sell out. So you definitely want to go to the Crown Point High School website and find your tickets there for The Wizard of Oz. And again, that starts this weekend, November 15th. So again, just another great way to get out and support the kids of our community. So it's going to be, again, a beautiful weekend, guys. There's plenty of other things out there to do. Get out there, check out. Again, I thank you all for continuing to watch this. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, suggestions, leave them in the comment box below. And of course, share this with your friends and family or anybody else you know who might be interested in what's happening in Northwest Indiana. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.